A very good afternoon and welcome to another edition of the YES101's Visual Radio for the Newsfirst team. I'm Joad Abdeen. We start off with a look at your headlines.
Newsfirst headline.
And making headlines, IMF approves third tranche for Sri Lanka after completing second review. IMF Executive Board comments on Sri Lanka debt restructuring. Bali Process Government and Business Forum kicks off in Stein Studios, Ratmalana. G7 leaders agree to unblock $50 billion for Ukraine by end of 2024. ICC Cricket World Cup 2024, Sherfane Rutherford's heroics help West Indies secure Super 8 spot. I'm bringing you your news in detail. In your top story, the Executive Board of the International Monetary Fund completed the second review under the 48-month extended fund facility arrangement, allowing the authorities to draw about 336 million US dollars. This brings the total IMF financial support disbursed so far to $1 billion US dollars. The EFF agreement for Sri Lanka was approved by the Executive Board on the 20th March 2023 in an amount of about $3 billion US dollars. The EFF supported program aims to restore Sri Lanka's macroeconomic stability and debt sustainability, mitigate the economic impact on the poor and vulnerable, rebuild external buffers, safeguard financial sector stability, and strengthen governance and growth potential. For more details on this story, log on to our website www.Newsfirst.lk. And also shifting your attention towards Sri Lanka's debt restructuring, the International Monetary Fund has called for a swift finalization of the Memorandum of Understanding with the Official Creditor Committee and final agreements with the Export-Import Bank of China. The directors of the IMF Executive Board have stressed the importance of seeking comparable, transparent, and timely completion of restructurings with external private creditors consistent with program targets. They have, however, welcomed the progress made to advance debt restructuring to restore Sri Lanka's debt sustainability. The Executive Board directors have underscored the need to strengthen financial sector resilience to support the recovery. They called for swift completion of the restructuring of remaining domestic law, foreign currency loans, and for adequate recapitalization of commercial and state-owned banks. Directors underscored, however, that important vulnerabilities and uncertainties remain, including with respect to the ongoing debt restructuring and upcoming elections. Against this backdrop, they called on the authorities to continue strengthening macroeconomic policies to restore economic stability and debt sustainability, and to sustain the reform momentum to promote long-term inclusive growth. And also shifting your attention towards more local news, the Bali Process Government and Business Forum kicked off at Stein Studios, Ratmalana this morning. The Bali Process Government and Business Forum is an international strategic platform for collaboration between the private sector and Bali Process member states to address forced labor and human trafficking challenges, bringing together influential business leaders and ministers from across the Bali Process membership. Founder of the philanthropic Mindaru Foundation, Andrew Forrest, and the CEO of Adaro Energy, Garibaldi Thohir, are the co-chairmen of the Bali Process, and this is the first time that both the co-chairmen are present for a conference of the Bali Process. The opening ceremony of the forum concluded this morning with addresses by the co-chairs of the Bali Process, Government and Business Forum, Chairman of the Capital Maharaja Group, Sashi Raja Mahendran, and Group Director of the Capital Maharaja Group, Siobhan Daniel. And we now shift your attention towards international news.
International news.
And And India's overseas group of 7 leaders have agreed to provide Ukraine with $50 billion via the use of frozen Russian assets by the end of the year, the French presidency confirmed. G7 leaders had aimed to agree a deal on using the profits from the interest on €3 billion of frozen Russian central bank assets to help Kiev, using the profits as collateral for a loan up to $50 billion. US President Joe Biden is to meet with Ukraine President Zelensky during the G7 summit in Puglia, Italy. And up next is your update on sports.
Sports news.
A sensational rescue effort from Shofane Rutherford set up a third win on the trot for West Indies in the T20 World Cup 2024 while putting New Zealand on the verge of elimination at the Brian Lara Stadium. With the win, the co-hosts have also secured a spot in the Super 8. New Zealand's fast bowlers dictated proceedings in the power play to have West Indies 4 down in the first innings, while Rutherford found little support as they slid to 112 for 9 after 18 overs, but he plundered 37 runs off the last 2 overs to take West Indies to 149 runs before the bowlers stepped up during their defence. In summary, West Indies posted a total of 149 runs for the loss of 9 wickets in their allocated 20 overs. Chasing a target of 150 runs, New Zealand only managed 136 runs for the loss of 9 wickets in their allocated 20 overs. West Indies won the game by 13 runs. And with that, we wrap up this edition of the YES101's Visual Radio. For the Newsfirst team, I've been Joy. Thank you for watching. Good night. And with that, we wrap up this edition of the YES101's Visual Radio. For the Newsfirst team, I've been Joy. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.